is up now? Amorag, oh my god. Amorag's left behind. This is going to be very, very intense. Left behind from a... Good evening, everyone. We are back for the third day of Blitz Cup preliminaries on the Asia server. Again, those 8 teams are Boone, Cats, Feast, GV, HLV, Team ID, Low, and RN. Just a refresher for the Blitz Cup preliminaries format. All games are played in the best of 7, that is, the team that wins the first 4 matches will win the fixture. The tournament is run in single round robin format, that is, each team will play 7 other teams. 1 point is given to the fixture win and 0 points are given to a fixture loss. The top 4 clans with the most points advance to the Blitz Cup, and in the case of a tie, the following parameters are considered in this order. First, we consider the head-to-head result, then we consider the total game wins, and finally the total battle duration, which means the team who wins the most quickly will be ahead of the team who wins less quickly. Yeah, that was good. This is the timeline. We're currently on the third match day, so there is 1 more day to go, which is on the Sunday. The Blitz Cup for the Asia server will be held on the 7th to the 8th of November. And this is the map pool for you tonight. The 5th fixture, which is a fixture we're going to stream very soon. We will start off with Faust, Wintermanovka, Hellas, and if there's a tiebreaker, Alpenstadt. The next fixture, we're going to start with Castilla, Fort Despair, Alpenstadt, and finally Normandy. This is the table leaderboard for you so far. Feast is at the top of the table with 4 points and 16 wins. GV and HLV are tied with 3 points and 15 wins, and Team ID have 2 points with 13 wins. They also have the same number of points as Low, but only with 9 wins. Boone have 1 point as the same as Cats. Boone have 12 wins, Cats have 9 wins, and RN languishing down the table with only 7 wins and 0 points. And this is my stream schedule. Tonight, the first fixture, we will start off with RN versus GV, and then 1 hour later, we're going with RN versus Team ID. The time given here is Japanese Standard Time, so it's not Central European Summer Time, it's GMT plus 9. So the first games will happen in around 12 minutes or so. And do note that the time stated here, it's going to be 5 minutes later than the stated time. This is because I've imposed a stream delay, and this is to prevent teams from stream sniping, which means the teams are not allowed to know the lineup of the other team before the game starts, and also they won't be able to know where the positions of the tanks are. This is a delay which is ordered by Wargaming to do so in order to prevent teams from cheating. On top of the 5-minute delay, there is also a 20-second latency delay. This is to preserve the stream quality, and the lower the latency, the more burden the internet is going to withstand. The connection is going to withstand. So the picture quality can degrade if you put very low latency. So that's why, because it has already it does have a 5-minute delay already. It makes sense to not impose a very ultra low latency. Ultra low latency will only be imposed for a real-time interaction, right? So Fujit's going to stream Cats vs Feast, thereafter Boone vs Feast. Eternal Zinzan will be streaming HLV vs Boone, and then HLV vs GV. And Si Young Kyun finally will be streaming Low vs Team ID, and then Cats vs Team Low. Time given here, this time it's in Hong Kong time, which is the time in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Malaysia, Western Australia, the Philippines, Singapore, parts of Russia and Mongolia. I think Brunei as well, but not Timor-Leste, which I erroneously claimed in my previous skill tournaments, they actually have the same time as Japan and Korea. South Korea, I mean. Uh, so yeah, I think these are the countries that have the same time as Hong Kong. This is how you can get coins. Follow the steps here. My moderator is going to put the lazy link in the chat there. Just click on that link and you get your goodies. Hello, Jam Shintiong Faf. Yeah. So let's begin, shall we?
Oh, it's up there, Emmerich! Oh my god! Emmerich's left behind! This is going to be very, very intense. Left behind from a...
Right, this is the RN's roster. Chimpanzee is the captain of the team, and then we have Cancer, Teal to Time, Aries, Sagittarius, Pisces, Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Gemini. The clan they're going to face will be... There we go, let's see.
Oh man, this is going to go really horrible.
This is the GV's roster. Professor is the captain of the team, and then we have Berlin, Moscow, Tokyo, Doha, Venezia, Rome, Manila, Liski, and Paris. The last 5 games, RN lost the last 4 games there. They performed horribly so far during the Blitz preliminaries. A lot of people, I mean, I predicted RN to be the front runner of this tournament, but they so far have disappointed massively. Tonight, this is going to be the game that they must win in order to keep their hopes afloat. Meanwhile, GV has done really well in the Blitz preliminaries so far, mainly due to their schedule. The run of clans they faced so far not really that difficult, so they won 3 of their last 5 games here. So you would think that RN they need to pick up the momentum now and steal some momentum away from GV, obviously. And this is their last 5 matchups. Actually, RN won 4 of the last 5 matchups against GB. So on paper, RN, they have an advantage here, but they need to convert that into results tonight, because the stats, the stats you're seeing here, it's only history. It's not what RN. It's not a certainty that RN is going to replicate this history. So RN must not be the clan that is memed about this history, but the clan that could do stuff. So hopefully we're going to see that tonight. So let's ask Mabbox, what do you think about the predictions? Let's start out with HLV versus Spoon. Mabbox predicting HLV 4-3 against Spoon. Cats versus Feast. Mabbox predicting Cats 3-4 against Feast. How about Low versus Team ID? Mabbox is predicting Low 0-4 against ID. And finally, RN versus GV. And RN will be winning 4-2 against GV according to Mabbox. Will it be true though? We'll find out very soon. The room should be up in any moment soon. Just waiting for the call. There we go. I've been summoned, and before I continue, Let me see. Sorry. Oh, sorry. There we go. Faust. Right. This is Faust. Let me get a map for you. There we go, Faust. And hopefully we have more viewers soon, because only 3 at the moment, which is not good. Let's get more, shall we? Faust is a map that big arrows would be the direction where clans could be looking to rush. But we probably won't see that because it's top 8 battle, and all the clans would be ready for potential rush from the enemy. So um, a lot of clans go to go to this area, the northeastern area, because you probably have a cap lead and map control as well. Because when the enemies need to rotate, they probably will get spotted at a really far position, and and you can rotate very quickly with these kind of elevation. Also, I mean, it's far from where you are, so it's also easy to kind of defend and also to respawn to potential rotation. Um, but then we are seeing more people going for A with more tanks. We're going to see if it's going to be the case here. Um, it's easier to capture. I mean, C usually the north side has an advantage here in the base capture. Uh, it's also easier to capture C than D, because D you have a you have less space, and C less uh, leeway for capturing the bases. It's easy to reset on D, so you must be very careful in capturing D. You might get reset from the tanks over to C, so that's why north side you might have a little bit of advantage off the caps, but then it's not really about the caps on Faust though. It's not like Yukon where the cap was taken very quickly. So it's more about whether you can make a really good rotation, and we will see very soon whether they're going to show some pretty good rotations. Meanwhile, our end is going with Chimpanzee the Mouse, Aries in the E5 alongside Sagittarius, Cancer in the E113 alongside Gemini, and Virgo in the T20 alongside Toyota Time. Meanwhile, GV is going with Professor in the T22 alongside Rome, Barcelona in the IS4 alongside Berlin, and Doha, Moscow in the E5 alongside Tokyo. So we have around 2 minutes left to go. Um, let's see what's going to happen. And let's get more people watching this, shall we? You'll know about Mabbox soon. I think you have known about Mabbox here. One more minute left to go. Both teams ready up. Faust, first game, RN north side, GV on the south side. You definitely want to see RN doing some amazing stuff tonight. They desperately need that. They desperately need the result. They cannot afford to lose another fixture, because in the Ascent tournaments, previous skill tournaments, they're very good. They're eminent. They are provisioned. They are extraordinary. They're stellar, but so far they haven't shown their colors yet. They haven't um, been impressive. They must use tonight's opportunity, this fixture, to show us that they're still competent in this competition. They're still competitive, let's say. Here we go, Faust. RN versus GB. So let's head up high into the map, and we're going to see where the teams are going to go. GB are going for D, and RN is going for C. And GV. Maybe going for Iron Fist at this point, because they just have a lot of people going to this flank. And then they're just going straight in to see, try to shut down RN's forces. Cancer is spotted, but the rest of the GV forces are spotted. The GV, they know, they know what they're doing. They're trying to use my advice to try and push, and they couldn't shoot any. Well, they shot a bit off a Virgo here, but RN are hustling on this, just breathing. But GV with Berlin, very aggressive here. Meanwhile, Gemini and also Cancer are still holding this line, but RN's defensive lineup is not good enough. There are two stratified layers here. If a GV realizes this is not going to be difficult for them to focus fire, and Sagittarius is horrendously isolated. But Berlin, he needs to stop pushing, leading the charge. He is very low, and meanwhile, RN still not with a cap there, have complete advantage. Doha is tracked, but Sagittarius bounds. Meanwhile, we are seeing Moscow and Tokyo doing a skirmish against the double 103s. Tokyo dropped the reactive armor, but Chimpanzee's coming in to shut down the double E5s here. The Cancer needs to put a shell into Tokyo. He does. The Moscow puts a good shell into Gemini, and Tokyo is a one-shotter, and Sagittarius is down. Meanwhile, Tokyo is dead. Berlin is very low, but Gemini is also killed as well. Hit points neck and neck here. The Toyota tank coming from behind. Berlin is killed. Moscow, it's getting tracked once again. And Cancer, he doesn't have the accuracy now. Now he fixed that. But the Chimpanzee is spearheading this in the mountains, which is really good to see. But GV, that push definitely didn't work here. Barcelona is trying to get a shield from Doha, but doesn't work. The Chimpanzee will need to put a good shell and kills him off. And Chimpanzee still bullying the GV's forces. Cancer receives a ram the Doha, but both Doha and Cancer took the same amount of damage. Doha is dead. Professor is going to be in the T22, but there are two T22s for both teams as well. And this game will undoubtedly goes to RN. What a good start from RN here. Doha trying to chase you this time, but he should be going for the Virgo instead. Professor is killed by Theater Time in Rome. It's the last man standing for GV. That's a good shot from Theater Time and Chimpanzee. Pegs Rome off. First game to RN. Damage here, Chimpanzee doing more than 3k damage alongside Virgo killing 5 tanks in total. Theater Time is also very important, killing 2 tanks and doing more than 2k. You can see the double T22s did more than 6k of damage, and that's a lot of damage for the double T22s. Meanwhile, GV only have GV, the highest damage done by a single player is Doha. With 2.8k, killing 2 tanks. Double T22s didn't do bad here. They just did more than 4.5k of damage, killing 1 tank in total. But Berlin and Tokyo definitely disappointed GV's forces, especially Berlin spearheading when he's low in health. Should have waited for the rest of the team to kind of push it instead, and he has to fall back when he has very low health there. The first game goes to RN, and now RN on south side, GV on north side. RN doing with the same lineup, and GV going with a similar lineup. Professor in T22 alongside Rome, Barcelona, Berlin, and Doha in Triple E, IS4, Moscow in the EVA alongside Tokyo. So 30 seconds left. We were on the second game. RN, that was a really good start, and this is what we're expecting from RN. This is a really good game from RN, but I'm just very worried. Actually, the stratified defensive formation. They're not holding in a horizontal straight line. If GV pushes better in the last game, they could have punished RN's formation heavily, but they didn't. And we're into the second game. Again, we leap up high into the map. This time RN double T20 is going for A. Meanwhile, only the Sagittarius and the double 1-3 going for a bit of D. Double T22 is going for C, but D is going to be captured and start. So that means RN will have to calculate here. Professor is going a little bit more, a little bit deeper here. The double T22s here just holding defensively. Meanwhile, RM will have to calculate this time, and they won't want to receive any unnecessary hits there. Virgo is spotted, Berlin is spotted, but Virgo and Teal Time are spotted on their way out. Now GB got the call to capture A. But RN, the 1-3 is spotted. But they're not going for C yet, they're just going up high. And Moscow is spotted, Chimpanzee instead is going for B. This is a really interesting call that GV left B open. And GV cannot just reset B in this case, and Chimpanzee will get B. And Aaron could get C as well. They are very close there. GV are not holding there entirely. Chimpanzee, is he angling up? Well, yeah, it seems the numbering has not worked. I have to tell Walking about that. This is a bug. GV, Berlin's taking a bit of hit there, but are we going to see a push here? There we go. It's so annoying now. The number keys are not working, but Rome is leading the charge. Meanwhile, Cancer is taking a bit of hit there. Moscow is up there. The RN forces are ready for this. GV, they're getting denied in their push. And T20 is just going straight in, and we're going to see what's going to happen here. Let's head down to Toyota Time. Aries with a really good shout to Rome, but Toyota Time could not penetrate. Virgo is not coming in, and Toyota Time is dropping reactive armor, but meanwhile Tokyo is dropping the reactive armor as well. The Chimpanzee is very low. Absolutely, RN needs to make a push right now, and if before it's too late, and Tokyo is down to one shot. Tokyo. Oh, Virgo bounces, but Toyota Time cannot bounce, and Ares needs to put that shell in, and they did kill off. Virgo needs to stay alive. He needs to pull back, and he does. And Virgo needs to stay absolutely safe here. Moscow is looking for Virgo, but Moscow is getting tracked and so on. The GV forces are going for Ares, Toyota Time, and also Virgo. Doha is dead, but Hippo's still neck and neck. Toyota Time very healthy. Ares very low. Rome is a one shot, but Toyota Time is now getting chased by Professor. Professor is very angry here. He's furious, marching in. Professor needs to kill off Ares, and he does kill off Ares. The number of tanks, 4 versus 4. Rome is dead. And Barcelona is spearheading this. A vertical straight line is here. Barcelona, this is looking really good for RN. This is a very, very bad vertical straight line. It's very obvious where they want to go for. Cancer instead. Sagittarius is focusing Barcelona, and Barcelona is killed. Moscow is going for Sagittarius, and Moscow should be the focus for RN's forces. But they're going for Professor instead, which I think should be a good call, because we don't want Professor to run away from the situation, and Professor is killed. Moscow is the last man standing, and Toyota Time puts a really good show into Moscow. And Moscow puts a good show into Gemini. Gemini cannot bounce this one, but Toyota Time bounced. Moscow, can he kill off Gemini? He does, but it's a 1 versus 1. Toyota Time cannot throw this one away, surely. And he does kill off Moscow here. The second game goes to RN. Well, that was another good game from RN here. Again, the GV, the formation was a big problem here. They were caught in numerous occasions that they were isolated one by one, and then they are also, let's say, doing a vertical straight line in the perspective of RN, and RN just doesn't need the best focus fire. It's pretty obvious here. But we are seeing the first run of using the Crown Wagen here. We're on to Winter Mononovka. Let's see the damage first. Gemini did more than 4k than 113 at the time, doing more than 2k. But you can see Arend tanks there, 5 tanks doing more than 2k. Meanwhile, GV with 2 tanks doing more than 3k and with 5 Qs, the damage done quite close. And Moscow and Professor couldn't inspire the team to get a win here. We are on Winter Mononovka, RN going with Chimpanzee the Krummwagen, Aries in the E5 alongside Cancer and Gemini, Sagittarius the Mouse, Virgo with the Vegas Light and Time in the T22. Meanwhile, GV is going with Professor in the T22 alongside Rome, Barcelona in the DLS4 alongside Doha, Berlin in the Mouse, and we have Moscow in the E5 alongside Tokyo. Let's get the Winter Mononovka map here. This is Winter Mononovka. So Winter Mononovka, map control B and C, cap control B and C, map control A. That's what I would say. To summarize Winter Mononovka. But we are in for Winter Mononovka. RN. They started really well with 2 wins against GV, and we will be wondering why RN hasn't won one single fixture yet so far, but they are looking very promising at the moment. But that is only just them on Faust. They need to deliver that absolutely on Winter Mononovka as well, and RN on the north side, GV on the south side. Let's head up high. RN, this time going for B and C, GV going for mostly to A. But B is a very dangerous cap to get, so you don't want to get B unless you're very sure that you could. Oh, Berlin and Doha are spotted. But A is getting captured. Doha is spotted as well in the IS-4. And A is now getting captured out, and we not have the cap lead here. Aries and Gemini are barely in, but B is now getting some focus from. Nope. They're steering away from A. And Aries, not spotted, he's going into this bush, but he has no cover on his right hand side. And Aries is just going very aggressive here. He needs to be absolutely careful. He took a bit of hit to double tap. Oh my goodness me. He is so careless there. Right, but he could take some more hits. He is not careful enough. But RN just pushed the lineup. They are preparing to farm off Aries. A good shell into Berlin. Gemini, another good shell. But Gemini is tracked. Aries has dropped the adrenaline. He is going to put a shell into Tokyo. And Gemini is absolutely going to put a shell into Professor, but this is going to be a very dangerous move from our end because the double E5s are not well shielded. GV definitely going to push the double E5s here. And the Aries and Gemini are very low in health. They must absolutely survive as long as they could, but they don't have the reactive armor. Aries is the first taken down. Gemini puts a good shell into Tokyo, but Gemini is the next focus for GV. And GV, they still have the hit point pool lead, more than 1k in fact, but they have 2 tanks alive here. They have a very solid, effective DPM. Doha is hold down at A, trying to farm off the tanks there, but the T22's got a little bit too ambitious there. They're just running around in circles, but they're trying to pick up Virgo. Virgo is a one-shot now. They absolutely must kill off Rome. Virgo is killed. Rome is still alive. Chimpanzee is trying to go for Professor. Due to time, it's good show to Rome, but to 3 for 7. I think GV will have this one. Cancer is killed, and Chimpanzee one more shot. And due to time, kills of Professor. Due to time is killed. Chimpanzee is very healthy, but not now. He's getting killed. He's getting focused by a lot of tanks here. And Chimpanzee, that tank doesn't have good mobility, and he's on fire, and he's killed. So third game goes to GV. Kudos said Discord link. The Discord link is in the description below. Just click on that, you will get into my server. Well, this was a much worse performance by RN. Unfortunately, the E5 has just gone way too aggressive, and it wasn't really their fault entirely. It was the tanks behind them just not supporting the E5s well enough, and the E5s just died without a good reason. Meanwhile, GV going with Doha Road with more than 3k damage and killing 4 tanks in total. Berlin and about 2.7k damage, killing 1 tank, and Professor, very important as well. The double T20s all running around like a maniac. They put out a lot of damage. In fact, 6.5k and actually 6,554 in total. So now, GV got one game back, but RN needs to stop making this kind of elementary mistake here. If they want to go aggressive, they absolutely must make sure they have Crossfire to support them. And if they want to triumph against GV, they need to revisit their win on the Fouls. That was a really good win, and GV didn't do absolutely perfectly with a very good formation to shut down RN's forces, and RN needs to absolutely make this one count this time. There we go. RN cancelling the eyes for Sagittarius and the Mouse. Time in T22, Aries in the E5 alongside Chimpanzee and Gemini. Virgo in the Vickers Lights. Meanwhile, we have Barcelona in the eyes for alongside Doha, Berlin in the Mouse. Professor in the T20 alongside Rome, Tokyo and E5 alongside Moscow. RN South Side, GV North Side, GV once again going for A. RN once again going for B and C. Here's time. Is he going to spot anything up? He spotted up Doha, and he couldn't penetrate Doha. That's understandable because IS4 is very good, has a very good armor profile. Here's Time's trying to run away, and he's now getting captured by Professor. Once again, GV will have a cap lead, and they have around 1 kilo hit point advantage. Aries just going straight into B, but he absolutely needs to be careful there. Doha might be in position to hold down and reset B, but GV has another idea, and Aries could be in loads of trouble if he cannot survive this. He needs to run away. There are some missed shots going to Aries, but Aries took double tap. But GV also took a really took some beating, and their hit points are now going to be neck and neck. Meanwhile, nothing eventful is happening. Chimpanzee is holding in this advanced position alone. I'm just worried if GB knows this invasion that he can just push off Chimpanzee, and Chimpanzee will be no more. Sagittarius stewarding the middle side alone in the mouse. Gemini is spotted, Barcelona is spotted. The area, I think they're in the worst position than GV. Gemini is shot at. But Tokyo is also getting shorter as well at a pretty far location. But we're seeing Gemini and Cancer going in for Barcelona. Gemini is tracked, and Gemini is dropping the speed boost. And Cancer just going up in this shortcut. And Barcelona is getting tagged here. Tokyo is running away. Barcelona is heavily isolated. Meanwhile, Chimpanzee is now getting rushed, and RN has done a good job in shutting down Barcelona. Barcelona is the first tank down, but Sagittarius is holding on very nicely. Berlin is very low for some reason, but Chimpanzee is finally down, and Ares needs to stay alive as long as he could. Ares with 800 hit points here. GV is trying to survive here, but Berlin is a one-shot, and he's down to time. He needs to find a target here, but RN is going for Professor. Professor's a one-shot. Gemini just need one more shot here. One more shot would do, and Ares is going to be very good killing off Professor, but C's now getting captured by Rome, and this is what our ends just pouring their forces in, and Rome just got eviscerated, and GV, with only 3 tanks remaining, they need to get all the caps, and RN needs to get just one more cap and stay alive, and Reese took 485, a big high row from Oha to the time, trying to go for Moscow. But RN just want to kill all the tanks here. They don't want to win with caps, but they're going to win with caps anyway. So, 4th game goes to RN, and Moscow is killed. There we go. RN on the match point here. There are 3 tanks doing more than 2k. Meanwhile, GV have 3 tanks doing more than 2k as well. But it's all about the caps. RN Chimpanzee, it's a Chimpanzee Gemini capturing that B caps proved to be important, and GV hasn't punished good enough to that E5. And obviously Doha isolated there wasn't not Doha, it was Barcelona isolated there, didn't help better at all, and GV wasn't doing really well in that push, I would say. Finally, we're on Hellas. RN going for double crown bargain by Chimpanzee and Ares. Cancer, Gemini, and Sagittarius in the triple E5s, Virgo and T2 with double T22s. Meanwhile, GV going for Professor in the T22 alongside Rome, Barcelona in the Ice alongside Doha and Tokyo, Berlin in the Mouse, and Moscow in the E5. Let me get Hellas for you. So this is Hellas, right? I couldn't save any of my indicators on Hellas, so this is Hellas. Middle side, I love to go on the middle side, and this is where I think a lot of skirmishes will happen, and also the back control. If you can take over the middle, you could get some good back control. Some spots over to both A and B and C. If you want map control, then you might want to go for C. Cap control, go for both A and B. But map control is going to be really hard if you go for both A and B only. So you must do something on C as well. And we only have around 3 seconds left to go. RN on the south side, GV on the north side. Match point to RN. That could mean it will be the first game for first pointer for RN. GV with more than 1k hit points advantage. You need to make use of that. And Kranfagen has a lot of hit points as well. Did they nerf E5's hit point pool? Because now E5 doesn't seem to have a lot of hit points now. Ooh, the GV just going straight into both A and B. And Doha is getting punished a bit here. Some repairs happening. Moscow spearheading this. He is making a mistake here. He doesn't want to do that. That's just some free damage for RN. Meanwhile, GV just holding both A and B. But RN will be having a map control over the C side. I do feel very good about RN here, but they don't have the hit point advantage. They must absolutely chip away the hit points of GV. Meanwhile, the TWT20 is spotted. They need to stay safe. They are spotted. And Rome will be looking likely to shut them down. They have waited a bit. They have done a camo reset. And the T22s are getting out of this situation relatively safely. Meanwhile, Ara dropping more and more hit points as Harris taking a hit. And Berlin just barreling in potentially. Chimpanzee can attempt to shut down Berlin here. But Cancer, receives another shot. And now GB will have around 2k to hit advantage. Chimpanzee just going straight in. GV will have the control over here. The bounce did really well in spearheading this, taking little. This is going to be hard for RN to tackle. GV has the advantage here. GV is just holding here. It really relies on the T22 to make a move to find the weakness of the GV's forces. The Kramfagen of Chimpanzee. He's going to be absolutely looked at. But he's not going for Berlin. This is a really good idea. Tokyo's going down. Cancer and Sagittarius are very weak. The weak link of the RN's defensive formation. Meanwhile, double T22s, GV going for both Due to Time and Virgo, and they are very low indeed. They're not really low, but they don't have hit points. Not a lot of hit points compared to Rome and Professor. But Rome's attempts to go for C, and Virgo's going for cap reset. But both Rome and Virgo cannot connect. This is all about focus fire. Team's time took a bit of hit there. Ares is coming here. The double T20s are in trouble, and this is the first time down. Team's time needs to stay safe. Professor needs to run away. Straight the backside to both Team's time and also Virgo, but Team's time bounced onto Professor. Meanwhile, Barcelona is coming in alone. This is not good because he will be taking a lot of hit there. Sagittarius is dropping the reactive armor, and Gemini is running away. And the RN's formation is falling, is flaking. Doha is trying to shut down Cancer. He does shut down Cancer, and T22 is not absolutely staying alive. The Professor needs to stay alive, but Team time bounce onto Professor here. Ares to come down and finish off Professor, and Sagittarius is down. Gemini still holding on. GV with 2 caps here. GV needs to kill absolutely Gemini, and Gemini is killed. GV 915 cap points. Berlin is the focus for RN, but Chimpanzee is getting killed. GV is going to win by caps here, and they did win by caps. The 5th game goes to GV. GV once again, the double T22 is getting a little bit punished there, but it was RN dropping too many hit points at the start that lost them the game. And GV they still didn't look like RN still look like the better team here, but they have to penetrate all their shells, and they must absolutely get all their shells in, and they need to stop drawing any unnecessary hit points at the start. Those triple E5s did a bad job there. Meanwhile, Kranwagen did really well, doing more than 2k, but GV with Berlin, Doha, and Barcelona doing more than 2k, and GV could punish RN again if they're not careful enough. So we are now back on Hellas, Chimpanzee, in the IS4 alongside Cancer. They're dropping the double Kramwagen, Ares and Eva alongside Gemini and Sagittarius, Virgo and T20 alongside T at the time. GV going with double T20 again, Professor and Rome. Barcelona in the IS4 alongside Doha and Tokyo. Chimpanzee back in the Kramwagen, Berlin in the Mouse, and Moscow in the T110 E5. Hello, commenting his Blitz. Let's head up high, shall we? Aaron was north side this time. They're going for both A. They're going to do something different this time. They're going for B as well. GV also going back for A and B. Meanwhile, GV has more than 1k of hit point advantage once again. But Aaron needs to stop dropping hit points here. Cancer is spearheading this. Puts a good share to Barcelona. Here is punished. And Sagittarius would looking forward to punishing GV tanks, but GV dropping hit points unnecessarily. Now RA with a hit point advantage, not really, but just a little bit, of disadvantage here. Oh, Sagittarius hit there, but Cancer needs to put a good shell. Let's head over to Cancer here. Aries, Moscow needs to not be too greedy here. RA just can't just stay back and hold a bit. GV needs to be really could make a push here. I must say they only have 4 tanks. I only have 4 tanks, and if GV are looking to make a push here, are pulling back. They knew GV is going to push, press them hard. But equally, GV are making mistakes here. They take a lot of hit points while trying to push out the double E5 here. Sagittarius has dropped the reactive armor. Doha is spearheading this. Rome is going to shut down Sagittarius, and GV just pouring their forces. But with Ara with a hit point advantage, and RN is trying to hold the horizontal straight line. RN needs to kill off Moscow as soon as possible. Ares can stay alive as long as he can. Moscow is going to be killed by Gemini. But now, RN without a hit point pool lead, Tokyo is isolated here. This is what the double T20 is going for, but RN, they're holding on. Chimpanzee, this is descending into a havoc here. But Chimpanzee, this is a dog's breakfast, and Chimpanzee's down. Tokyo is going to be down as well. Virgo is very low, in fact. GV with a hit point pool advantage, very solid hit point pool advantage. RN needs to do absolutely wonders, but Doha is down. Barcelona is trying to shut down Virgo, but he's shut down by Rome instead. It's going to be 3 versus 4. Tokyo time. Bounce onto Barcelona. Cancer puts a shell into Professor, but I think this game would go to GV. I don't know how Aaron managed to lose this one there, because GV just lost way too many hit points while trying to kind of push Aaron's forces. Aaron have a good response to that, but I think it was those heavies not holding very well, which could be the case. And Toyota time is killed. Cancer is last man standing. We're heading into the tiebreaker. Rome puts a good shell to Cancer. And now Cancer is killed. This game goes to GV. There we go. Cancer doing more than 3k damage. Gemini 2k, but the rest of the teammates did less than 2k, which is not good to see. Meanwhile, GV with 4 tanks doing more than 2k, Berlin doing more than 3k alongside Professor, and Rome killing 3 tanks. Definitely the double T20s for the GV team definitely did much better than the RN T20s. And we're on a tiebreaker. We are on Alpenstadt. Let's get the Alpenstadt map for you. Alpenstadt, A side, you might have a little bit of advantage in terms of caps. B, south side, not really. And I would say north side have an advantage here. who is on the north side. It is going to be GV. GV might have the advantage. We need to make use of that because north side it's closer to caps, and it's all about the rotation. RN needs to make a good rotation here, and we're going to see very soon what's going to happen. RN going with Chimpanzee back to the Craft Wagon, Aries in E5, lots of Cancer, Gemini, Sagittarius in the mouse, Virgo in the Vegas Light, and Teal Time in the T22. GV going with a double mouse by Berlin and Doha, Professor in the T20, Barcelona in the IS4, Moscow in the E5 alongside Tokyo, and finally we have Rome in the T22. There we go. This is the game that RN needs to win. Absolute mandatory win for RN. If they don't, their top 4 hopes would be in the ashes, buried in the ashes. A lot of pressure onto RN. They absolutely must make the most of it. GV, on the other hand, are going mostly to C this time, but they are going to capture. They're going to get a lot of control over there. Meanwhile, Virgo. There we go. He's going to swap tanks, but he's in the ice. He's in the exposed position. He needs to be careful. Professor Rome is water. GV actually. Oh no, Virgo. Can he survive? He can survive, but RN's forces are very isolated as well. Sagittarius is actually the ones behind this, as Sagittarius needs to stay alive as long as he could. Barcelona puts a good shell. So far, Sagittarius hasn't bounced one shell yet. Moscow receives a shell. And Sagittarius receives a bounce from Moscow. That's good. But Aries and Virgo are going to have some crossfire over here. But the T20s can come in and shut down those E5s if they are not careful enough. This is going to be our end trying to work with their focus fire and also the crossfire. Tokyo is going to be the focus for our end. Sagittarius getting pushed. Oh, but it's an ammo rack. Teal Time got an ammo rack. This is not good at all. Tokyo can survive, but this is not going well for our end. Our end, they cannot. Oh dear. Gemini bounced on the Tokyo. Our end are on tilt. GV will be wrapping this one up. Virgo puts a good shout to Rome, but Virgo is killed. Our end are just liquidating here. Rome. Aries is killed. 3 for the 6. Kran is still a 3 hit points. Cancer is focused for GV. Gemini is getting surrounded by 3 tanks. Oh no. Gemini is killed. 2 more tanks left for our end. GV will be winning this fixture. Got HE shared by Chimpanzee. It's over for our end. Top 4 hopes for our end is over. And down the drain, GV won the final game. All because of the ammo rack there. My goodness me. I feel so sorry for Teal Time. That was an unfortunate ammo rack in the T22. But GV needed that. They were losing a lot of hit points trying to rush that mouse, and Rome did more than 4k, killed 3 tanks. Barcelona did more than 3k, killed 2 tanks. But our end just liquidated after that ammo rack. And our end, valiant effort. Just wasn't their day, to be honest with you. RN played. I think RN was the better team in this one, but the luck wasn't in there. Luck wasn't with them, and RN is going to go out of this very Sadly, unluckily, lamentably. I don't know what to say, really. I'm totally shocked. Oh god. Did, Wargaming, did Wargaming, nerf the E5 hit point poo? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. This is we're going to see our results on the of the other teams here. Cats 2-4 against Feast, Low 1-4 against Team ID. Currently, Feast will be leading the table with 5 points, GV with 4 points, just inches away. I think with that, they could be sure that they are going to be in the Blitz Cup. ID and HLV now with 3 points. It's all about the next game, next fixture, really. GV will be facing HLV. Meanwhile, RM will be facing our ID, and Feast will be facing Boon, and Low will be facing Cats. So just waiting for the result of Boon versus HLV. And we can safely say RN are out of the top 4 contention. HLV 4-3 against Boon. Boon's chances in the top 4 could be well over as well. Cats also, so it's all about Low whether they are going to be winning against Cats and whether ID would lose against RN. Now RN without the burden here, they could just roam freely, and let's see if RN is going to win the next one. If ID won against RN and Low lost to Cats, Low will be out. So this is it. We still have some time, we can analyze the match. Trying to rush that mouse, and Rome did more than 4k. Ooh, let's see the Faust matches, because the Faust matches, I really love that. Faust, where are you, Faust? Let's go for the first scheme of Faust. Oh, we have the RN fans here. Hello. I feel so sorry for RN. They definitely didn't deserve to lose that fixture. I think they were most of the times they were better than GV. I think the main problem is just they can't defend well. That could be the problem, I would say. So let's go. The teams are going to go. GV are going for D. RN is going for C. And GV. Maybe going for Iron Fist at this point because they just have a lot of people going to this flank. And then they're just going straight in to see, try to shut down RN's forces. Cancer is spotted, but the rest of the GV forces are spotted. The GV, they know, they know what they're doing. They're trying to use my advice to try and push, and they couldn't shoot any. Well, they shot a bit off a Virgo here, but RN are hustling on this, just breathing. But GV with Berlin, very aggressive. Oh no, you definitely want Berlin back. Well, you definitely want. Berlin doesn't have to pull back. These tanks should try to kind of go in front, maybe, because Berlin is a bit low. But we'll see later on. Aggressive here. Meanwhile, Gemini and also Cancer are still holding this line, but RN's defensive lineup is not good enough. Okay, why is it not good enough? I'm going to tell you, because they have 3 lines of defense. First line, second line, and finally the third line here, which is not good to see because this would give the information for GV. First line they would need to breach would be the D5s at the far forward there. Next line would be Sagittarius, and finally it will be these 3 tanks. So it kind of gave GV a really good indication which tanks to go for first, and that's why I always say horizontal straight line is so important. And that T22 on the other side from RN needs to come in very soon here as well. There are 2 stratified layers here. If a GV realizes this is not going to be difficult for them to focus fire, and Sagittarius is horrendously isolated. Oh, Berlin is so aggressive. Meanwhile, GV hasn't done well in that push. The EC5 should absolutely come and shut down those 1-3s. These tanks needs to kind of like maybe separate a bit and then kind of wrap around that. Meanwhile, Rome can also kind of support and kill off that. You can just work with double T22 and shut down Sagittarius, which is fine. And RN's defensive formation is just not good enough, and that T22 on the other side for RN is quite far behind. So for GV, it's actually not that difficult to kind of shut kind of kill off the tanks for RN. Stop pushing and leading the charge. He is very low, and meanwhile RN still not with a popular advantage. Doha is tracked, but Sagittarius bounds. Meanwhile, we are seeing Moscow and Tokyo doing a skirmish against the double 103s. Tokyo dropped the reactive armor, but Chimpanzee's coming in to shut down the double E5. It was a pretty half-hearted attempt. I don't know why the T22 did and the other tank didn't push it. E5 did push it in the end. However, it got kind of read by Chimpanzee. They also hesitated a bit whether to push or not. I've gone for it. Berlin is to kind of help the E5s in the end. Let's see. Here, the Cancer needs to put a shell into Tokyo. He does. Moscow puts a good shell into Gemini, and Tokyo is a one-shotter, and Sagittarius is down. Meanwhile, Tokyo is dead. Berlin is very low, but Gemini is also killed as well. Hit points. They shouldn't go for mouse, please. Don't go for mouse. Mouse is the last thing you want to go for, and you should go for the T22 and the Cancer. Kidnack here. The Toyota tank coming from behind. Berlin is killed. Moscow. It's getting tracked once again. And Cancer, he doesn't have the accuracy now. Now he fixed that. But the chimpanzee is spearheading this in the mouse, which is really good to see. But GB, that push definitely didn't work here. Barcelona is trying to get a shield from Doha, but doesn't work. The chimpanzee will need to put a good shell and kills him off. And chimpanzee still
the focus fire.
Still bullying the GB's forces. Cancer receives a ram the Doha, but both Doha and Cancer took the same amount of damage. Doha is dead. Professor is going to be in the T22, but there are 2 T22s for both teams as well. And this game will undoubtedly goes to our end. Yeah, so it's kind of brief summary. It will be GB not really doing a focus fire in the end. The rush formation will be pretty hesitant. And if they don't focus fires in the end, they could have made it really close. But this is what GB needs to prevent doing in the next 2 fixtures. So we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to change the graphics for you very soon, and we'll see. Okay, so wait for me. So wait a brief moment.
By your side through all of the lives, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? Call me the king, ruler of things. Give me that diamond ring. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? I can go, but it's your dedication. Late at night, I can deal with everything. Every night.
There we go. I've done changing the graphics, and let's actually start.
There's a ammo rack. Oh my god, ammo racks are left behind. This is going to be very, very intense. Left behind from a.
There we go. Aaron's roster: Chimpanzee to captain the team, Cancer, Team Time, Aries, Sagittarius, Pisces, Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Gemini. And Aaron are out of top 4 contention. Next one, Team ID. Oh. This should be the right one. versus Team ID's formation. Oh, thank you for just Blitz for coming in. Captain is the captain of the team. Gaian, Plurielica, Active Duty, Van Persie, Radioactive, Graham, Moxon, Lanley, Linked, and IDS. We're wrapping up the ID team. RN, their last 5 games, all losses. Team ID won the previous game with low 4-1. 3 wins in 5, which is really good. On the paper, Team ID will be looking to march forward. They are not safe in the top 4 yet. They must absolutely win against RN. If they do win against RN, and if Low lost against Cats, then Team ID will be in top 4. And this is their last 5 matchups. RN won 4 of the last 5 matchups. So again, RN are doing good on paper, but that's only the history part of RN. They must absolutely transfer that head-to-head result to this game. Although I'm winning this game would dent Team ID's campaign in the top 4 and won't benefit them anyway in the campaign now. And but just go out with the heads up high. I think this is more important and kind of build on to the next season. But that I think will be important as well. Mabbox, let's ask Mabbox, what do you think? So let's start off with HLV versus GV. Mabbox is predicting GV 4-2 against HLV. Next we have Boone versus Feast. Boone is predicting 1-4 against Feast. Cats are low. Mabbox predicting Cats 4-1 against low. And finally, there's the same odds as Cats 4-2 against low. Finally, RM versus Team ID. It will be RN 4-1 against Team ID. Interesting stuff. RN is predicted to win ID by quite a mile. But would that be the case? We'll see. Yeah, soon. So we're waiting. They still haven't fixed that bot yet. So we're waiting for that to happen. There we go. Room is up. RN versus Team ID. Castilla we are going with. There you go. RN and okay. So we've been seeing a lot more clans doing rush maneuvers over the sea. Usually from south side. So we also saw on the north side as well. But then you just need a good defensive lineup, and if you're ready for that, then the push would just make little difference actually. However, Castilla is a map that is notorious for being boring because the teams will be looking to not allow any of the team to capture one of the bases. So it's probable that the game would, you would use all 7 minutes on Castilla. It happened with Lokifer's raid where they used all 7 minutes, both occasions, and the result only came up after some of the tiebreaker maps, tiebreaker matches as well. So Castilla can be absolutely dull. And this is kind of the map that we all hate as an audience. So we will see what both teams are going to play with. Alright, going with Chimpanzee in the E5 alongside Gemini and Sagittarius. Aries in the 215B, and we have Double T22 played by both Cancer and Virgo. Toyota Time in the IS4. Team ID will be going with Campen in the E5, Active Duty in the Vegas line alongside Game. Lanny will also be playing in the E5, Plurielica in the 50B, and we have Double IS4 played by Radioactive and IDS. Yeah. I believe so. Everyone here is a great player. There is no question about that. Plurielica going with 50B instead. Lanny U5, Castilla, it will be. So we have more than 1 minute left. Aaron on the north side, Team ID on the south side. I feel so sorry for Aaron. That last fixture, luck was against them, especially on Melbourne start really. 30 seconds left to go. Sorry, it's going to be a little bit down. Uh, oh man. Alright, on the north side we're going for A. Meanwhile, Team ID will be going for A as well. And active duty. It's taking the shortcut. Will he spot some tanks up here? Alright, just going. Not really defensively. They're heavy tanks, that's why they're taking time to come in. Virgo is getting reset by active duty. All get reset twice for Realica. In position to reset Virgo multiple times. Virgo is down to 837 hit points. That's not good to see at all. And he's really low. Campen is now trying to get A. But the Campen's definitely looking for Virgo here. The ID's now trying to press the line up. Campen retract from A, and he's tracked here as well. And the Gemini is a really good shell. This is descending into Anarchy very soon. And Lanny is in a very aggressive position. Toyota Time is just it's just pandemonium you're seeing right now, and Cancer is getting shot at, Focus getting shot at, Team ID with a very solid hit point pool lead. I just don't know what's going to happen here on Team ID. IDS with the IS4 very aggressive with Cancer, and T20 and the Virgo is very low indeed. Lanny is just trying to shut down Gemini, just ID all over RN in tatters. Cancer is killed, and IDS is trying to look for Virgo. Gemini is dead. ID is doing really well here, and Virgo's killed. Meanwhile, it's just the Sagittarius and Chimpanzee holding up on the hill with the double E5s, but there is nothing much they could do, however. Toyota Time's now getting focused by the ID tanks. Active Duty bounds on Toyota Time, and Gayam also puts a really good shell into Toyota Time. IDS bounced onto Toyota Time, and they absolutely needs to kill off Toyota Time, and Active Duty kills him off. Aries dropped the reactive armor in the 215, B reactor on a drum reload. Here, Active Duty needs to put a good show to Aries, but he is side-stripping with that building. Aries is killed by Gayam, but the last man standing will be Chimpanzee. Lanny. Oh, it's a bounce from Campen onto Chimpanzee. RN simply are on tilt, and the first game goes to Chimpanzee here. ID punished Virgo very nicely there, and just snowballed against him. The RN's just not having it. ID just won this one in relative ease. Look at ID, they all killed one tank from one another. Lenny Gayam did more than 3k, Florianka did more than 2 kills are really active. RN just with Aries and Gemini did more than 2k, rest of the tanks, Cancer did less than 1k, which is not good to see. So 1 more minute left to go. We now have Chimpanzee in the E finals and Gemini and Sagittarius. Aries in the 215B, Cancer in the STB1, Virgo in the T22, and Toyota Time in the IS4. Meanwhile, Team ID is going with Campen and Sheridan, triple E5 is played by Active Duty Game and Landy, double IS4 is played by Florianka and Radioactive. Finally, we have IDS and Mouse. Oh, Team ID this time has around 2k hit point advantage. That puts them in a really solid position here. Let's head up high. And this time we're mostly to C. Meanwhile, Team ID are also going for C. Cancer and the STB1 we're looking for A. Alright, on the south side, Team ID on the north side. And Sagittarius, he might be able to spot up tanks crossing. He spotted up Campen. And Campen, will he punish this side to Sagittarius here? Oh, he puts a really good show to Sagittarius, and that was a good first blood from Campen. His time's trying to capture C, but he is not going for C. Our N are going to make a push here, but this is going to be a half-hearted attempt. The Campen takes a really big hit trying to run away, but our N with less than with almost 3k hit point, that's a deficit. ID just need a good solid push and it's all over for RN, I must say. Campus just trying to run away. Team Times holding this position very aggressively, but he got support from the double E5s. But the double E5s will be very busy, but Radioactive's got a big hit. Now our N have pulled the hit points back. Preliminaries taking a bit of hit there. ID now doesn't have the hit point pool advantage. IDS trying to go for Sagittarius. Sagittarius taking 365. IDS going for the backside of Sagittarius. Sagittarius needs to stay safe, but Campen is the first tank down for Team ID. RN with more than 1k, 2k of hit point advantage. Now ID needs to finish off those E5. Sagittarius is down. Virgo is coming to the back, to the side arm of Radioactive. He bounced or missed. Cancer missed, and Cancer took a bit of hit there. Oh, he did a really big HE shell from IDS. Plurielica is IDS is blocking Plurielica's shot, but Radioactive was a good shell to Virgo. Hit point is now going to be swing to ID side if Cancer doesn't penetrate, and Virgo puts a really good shell into Radioactive, but Cancer bounces onto Radioactive. Now Virgo is very low. It's going to be low here. Radioactive slow. Team ID still doesn't have the hit point advantage. But Aries is going to be the focus for Team ID. Aries took a really big hit there. And Team ID is trying to kill off Chimpanzee. And Chimpanzee is dead. Radioactive is dead. Prognostic. It's going to be really low. It's going to be 4 for 3 in this situation. Team ID now going back to the hit point. Pool advantage. Team time. Prognostic has killed Team ID. IDS 1 versus 2. He needs to absolutely kill off Virgo. Virgo bounce onto the IDS. Just too many bounce shells from RN here. Aries missed onto IDS. But IDS manages to finish off Virgo. And this is 2 versus 1 onto T at the time. But Aries made a good shell into game. Active Duty needs to penetrate that shell here. Active Duty finished off T at a time. Last man standing, Aries. IDS needs to bounce some shells here, but he's showing the side armor to Aries. IDS puts a good shell into Aries. Aries is down to 1 shot, but IDS killed. Active Duty dropped the speed boost, so it's going to be Active Duty with lots of hit points. Active Duty is tracked. Aries trying to size rape with that mouse, but couldn't. And another track shot from Active Duty into Aries, but Active Duty just need that HE shell potentially. And he finished off Aries, and this game goes to Team ID. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. There we go, looking at the damage, Aries did more than 5k, killing 4 tanks. RN with the Gemini and T at the time. Chimpanzee Virgo doing more than 2k. Iron almost very close for them, but ID just much better shot effectiveness and so. The IDS in the mouse doing more than 4k, killing 3 tanks. Active Duty at game doing more than 6k in total, killing 4 tanks as a result. Reese 5 shots in pan. Gemini put all the shells in, and T at the time 5 shells wasn't in. Chimpanzee 2 shells aren't in. But the T-22's Virgo bounced 2 shells. Cancer bounced 4 shells, I think. And Sagittarius wasn't really bad in terms of the shot effectiveness, but it seems that RN bounced so many crucial shells, and now we are on 4th despair. RN going with Chimpanzee and Sagittarius in a double mouse, Aries in the 50B, and we have double ice force plate by Cancer, Gemini, Virgo in the T22, T at the time the E5. Meanwhile, ID going with Camp in the 1-3, Active Duty the 215B. KM in the T22 alongside Plurielica, Lenny in the E5 alongside Radioactive and IDS. I don't think so, Legion. Because now at least ID have won 2 games here. There we go. That's how high shall we? We have RN going mostly to B and C, while Team by D is going for A. And let's take a look at Game's perspective here. Game's going to the platform to spot the tanks of RN up. Game spotted. Spotted up Cancer, and Virgo is trying to put a shell. So Harry spotted, and Cancer is going to be spotted as Chimpanzee spotted as well. But Game couldn't penetrate that shot in as well. So far, no blood has been dealt with. Gemini is going to be looking for Radioactive. Radioactive is going really aggressive. Radioactive, will he put a shell into Cancer? Cancer, yes he does, but Cancer is also low. But T9D with Radioactive now going so aggressive, but Gemini is also isolated. Cancer is down to 548. Meanwhile, oh dear, Gaiam is going to be surrounded by both Ares and also Virgo. Gaiam needs to get out of this safely, but this is going to be case. Team ID dropping hit points. But Gemini, they're completely ignoring Gemini, which I don't understand why, because Gemini is quite an easy target for Team ID. Game is finally dead. They are focusing Chimpanzee instead, which is very interesting. But Chimpanzee is finally down. T at a time is going to be the focus for Team ID, but Campion is dead as well. IDS is low. T at a time is focus for Team ID. The focus fire is simply better for Team ID. But Radioactive is a one-shot. Landy's going to finish off. It's going to finish off the other time. IDS Radioactive for down. It's going to be 4 vs 3. Active duty is very low as well. But active duty is dead. It's going to be 4 vs 2 here. And this game definitely will be for RN. Florelica is looking for Sagittarius. But Florelica will be dead. He's dead. Landy is the last man standing. Virgo tracks Lanny here. Oh, some ramp happening over here. Virgo looking shut down. Lanny, one more shot. And Virgo will be killing off Lanny. Third game goes to our end. I think the main problem is the focus fire priority, not the focus fire per se, because you can see that Team ID did really well with that focus fire. They knew very well which target to go for. But I think in the end, it was the tanks they were going for. They went for that Bowers RN, which gave time for RN to focus fire. They didn't kill off that IS-4 Gemini, which I think it was a big problem for Team ID. If they have allocated the focus fire better, that could have been a different story. We have Virgo and Ares doing more than 3k. Yeah, Campbell also did a game did run away after spawning up tanks, which is a big mistake. He did less than 1k as a result. And we are on the 4th game of Fort Despair. One more minute remaining. Chimpanzee going back in the bounce alongside Sagittarius. Ares in the 50B. We have Cancer Gemini in the double wires for Virgo in the T22 and T time in the E5. Meanwhile, ID going with triple mouse played by Lenny, Preliminaries, and Radioactive. IDS in the IS alongside Campen and Active Duty. Game will be playing in the T22 again. Before I continue, I'll just mute myself, get a biscuit. I'll be back very soon. No, some, oh god.
your side through all of the lies, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? I'm in the king,
Oof. Oh my god, I forgot to say anything here. Oh my god. Apologize. Oh my goodness me, you missed all my country. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Let's help it. AKA Jack.
Yes.
See what his take is on today.
Right, I forgot to reactivate my my kind of sound.
Oh well, it happens.
Oh, man.
So Feast are definitely through.
Definitely
Simple fact.
Simple fact.
I don't know how low are doing against Cats, but they need to win that game. And I don't know how HLV and GV are doing. That's an important game for both teams. But I understand Root Nova went down to ID, so ID looked like they may be through.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot to act. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it, mate. What did you forget? Oh, 3 games without commentary.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They've seen the games anyway. That's all that matters. At least your stream didn't die. It's not a big deal.
Yes.
It's not a big deal. Trust me. As long as your stream didn't die, you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No one told me that they couldn't hear anything. I was so shocked. Yeah. And now I went like 3 games without commentary.
Oof. Well, it's okay.
Yes.
At least you got your stream doing. That's all that matters. That's all that counts.
Yes.
Really, seriously. As long as they saw the action, that's all that matters. Don't worry too much, and don't take it out on him so much, guys. It was an honest mistake, and you saw the action anyway. You didn't miss out.
Yeah.
So, how was it anyway?
Oh, I feel so gutted for RM because I fully believe they should have won against GB. The tiebreaker game, they went up because of a very full hit point ammo rack, 1.6k that was done in the again to that T22, and after that they just liquidated.
Okay.
Which is very sad to see. After that, Ara doesn't have the mood to play, I must say.
Okay.
Yeah, and Team ID just looked very dominant against RN. That 2 losses, however, Team ID just being a little bit too complacent and overly aggressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I almost ran out. I've run out of replays because obviously there's been an update and it's wiped all the replays that I had.
Yeah.
So I've been desperately telling people to send me replays.
Right.
It happens.
Yes.
Oh, but I mean, Feast. Wow. Cats and Boone definitely need. Oh, nice hammer rack. Cats and Boone needed to win today to stand any chance. But Feast again, too dominant.
Yes.
Cats gave it a good go, but again, Feast were just dominant.
Yeah.
They really were. I mean, there's nothing you can do against a team like that.
Yes.
When they're just obviously riding a high, got everything together, and they're just pummeling everybody.
Yeah.
Which is at the start of the stream, I said, well, there's the Feast have qualified already, but there's no guarantees that the others have.
Yeah, but we now know Cats 4-1 against Low. Feast, ID, GV, and HLV are through to the Blitz Cup.
Ah, so HLV, who won against GV and HLV?
No, we don't know, but it doesn't matter because GV and HLV already have 4 points.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and Cats have 1 against Low, and Cats have 2 points, and Low have 2 points as well.
Wow. So, that's interesting. That is
Yes.
interesting.
No, that's
So,
that means tomorrow the games on Sunday would merely be a practice match for the
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's ID, GV, HRV, and Feast who are through.
Yes, congratulations.
Nobody else can catch them. So big congratulations to Feast, who have not dropped a single game. They are unbeaten in this tournament.
So
So
far.
big congratulations so far. So big congratulations to them. Well done, HRV, GV, and ID for
Well done.
getting through. You did the job, guys.
Yes.
Commiserations to Cats, Low, Boone, and RN. Unfortunately, I mean, Cats, you had the chance today. You got there, you won a game, but it's not enough, I'm afraid. And Low, you needed to win your games today.
No,
And
they
again.
couldn't. They were pretty horrible today. They lost.
Oh, they had horrible groups going in. Yeah, they did.
Like 1-4 twice against both Team ID and Low, so they didn't do enough. However, unfortunately.
So yeah, I mean, going into Sunday, it's pretty much a practice round for everybody.
Yes.
It's pretty much determined. Simple as that. Can't really say much more than that.
Yes.
It's been an entertaining tour, though. To be fair, it's been very entertaining, really good fun.
Yes.
Wow, what can I say? I mean, it's just been fantastic. I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I love every minute as well. We also know that HLV 4-3 against GV, so that means HLV will have 5 points and.
Oh, well done, HLV. That's good news for them.
Yeah, that's really good news for them, and we don't need to use that tiebreaker. You don't need to use the tiebreaker rule. I mean, that doesn't matter anyway.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's well, we know who's going into the Blitz Cup now, so it's just EU and NA and RU servers to work out. And we've got EU later on today, and then I've got NA even later. And obviously, I don't stream RU, nor do you. I mean, because they have RU server and people speaking Russian and stuff. But yeah, wow, wowzers. Not much else I can say about today. I mean, like I said, Feast were dominant. Deserve to top the table.
Yes.
I mean, they just played a game that nobody's been able to dent them so far. Not a single person. Their last game is against HLV, I believe.
Oh, which one? What do you mean?
Feast.
Feast.
On Sunday. They got HLV, I believe.
Yes, this is going to be the battle of the top.
Of the top spots.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game still. And obviously, neither team need to prove anything because they're already through.
They already proven their skill.
Absolutely. Interestingly, Feast today, Boom Magoo and Bifrost, I believe, taking out Kranwagens.
Oh yeah, RN also taking out Kranwagens, but didn't work for them. Didn't work for them very well. Sometimes it worked, but then there is a match that it worked really well against ID, but that was really it that made the difference. The problem.
Well, I mean, it worked for them on the first map on the first game in Castilla, I believe.
Yeah.
But the second game, they dropped one of the Kranwagens, and it didn't work out as much.
Yeah, I see the problem with Kranwagen I'm seeing is the mobility, obviously, and then if you're getting rushed, then your DPM is going to be ultra low.
Yeah, the mobility is a bit slow for the tank.
Yes.
But the DPM, I mean, when two of them are working together like that, it's not bad. But yeah, the speed is a bit of a downside to it.
Yes.
To be perfectly honest with you. I can't see many teams taking them out. I think Feast were in the knowledge that they've already qualified, so might as well throw caution to the wind a little bit.
Yes.
Give it a bash, see how it worked out.
Yeah.
I think that was their thinking. RN, on the other hand, they probably thought, well, we're not going to go through, so we may as well give it a go as well.
Well, no, against I mean, they also used it against GV actually. I mean, that game was so important for them that I was rooting for them.
That was important to them, yeah.
I was rooting for RN to win against GV, but in the end, it didn't happen because of.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean RN did some big mistakes as well, but GV also did numerous mistakes in that match. So talking about top 4, I'm actually worried about GV. That performance against RN, they need to kind of show up. I mean, they did really well in some of their pushes, which they also focused fire really well. The double T22 actually pumped up a lot of damage. But then I'm a bit worried about them losing unnecessary hit points in so many occasions. They need to kind of tighten it up.
Yeah, I'm sure they. I mean, they've got some time now before the actual Blitz Cup Asia, so they have got some time to tighten up, and they've got some time on Sunday, knowing they're qualified, to to try a few things. But if Feast carry on like this, then they're going to be tough to beat, guys.
Yes.
They are going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be interested to see. I mean, I don't know if. I mean, they should still, even though they're both qualified. HLV and Feast will sort of probably still play it properly, and that'll be interesting to see.
Yes.
Because those are the two strongest teams at the moment on Asia. From this qualifier, so those would be the teams to look for when they go head to head in the Blitz Cup.
Yeah, but meanwhile, don't underestimate Team ID, because when they are playing it seriously, they can be a force to be reckoned with. They have really good focus fire and individual skills as well. It's also pretty brilliant. I'm just a bit worried sometimes they can get a little bit complacent and their formation just kind of flaked. This is not. This could be a problem for Team ID, but then if they shore it up, I'm very sure they are the team that could beat Feast.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Team ID. I mean, I've had a couple of surprises in the qualifiers. ID being one of them, and RN being the other.
Yes.
I mean, ID have been playing really well up until these qualifiers, and then for some reason it sort of went off the rails a little bit.
Yes.
Which took me by surprise, because ID have been quite a dominant force. Same goes for RN. I mean,
RN especially.
Don't know what's going on there. Yeah, exactly. Don't know what's going on there. I mean, RN normally they've been playing steady up until this qualifier, and then they've all of a sudden it's like a different team. It's pretty weird in that respect.
Yeah.
To be fair.
They lost their mojo.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, sometimes there's a danger of burning out in the Ascent Tour.
Yes.
Rather than just plodding in to make it into the top 8. Great mastery, by the way, Storm. Whereas Feast, a lot of people saying, Feast are not what they used to be, blah, blah, blah. And they plodded into the top 8.
Yeah.
To be fair. In the Ascent.
According to Spring Season Cup system, they will be 7th.
Yeah. Well, they plodded into the top 8, to be fair. They didn't play their best stuff in the in the Ascent. Even Mabbox will agree with that, I would have thought, that they didn't play the best. Yet you've seen a completely different Feast for these qualifiers. So clearly they didn't burn themselves out in the Ascent. Whereas maybe RN and maybe ID did a little bit, maybe. I don't know. It's all interesting stuff to work out.
Yes, but we are definitely in for interesting, exciting, exhilarating, thrilling, nerve-wracking matches for the Blitz Cup, 7th to the 8th of November, obviously.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. And all I can say is the guys are going to have a nice and well-deserved break before the Blitz Cup.
Yeah.
They'll probably see some change in the strats. I don't know.
Yes.
But we will see reinvigorated teams coming in. I mean, the Ascent Tour, the reason I'm saying about the burnout, the Ascent Tour lasted a month. I mean, it's a long time for the guys.
8 matches.
And then they sort of had only a week between the two. So if you put all your effort into the Ascent to get into the top 8, then there is a chance you can burn yourself out going into those qualifiers.
And this is best of 7, so you need stamina.
Absolutely. And Feast, I think, have played that part of it quite well.
Yeah.
Didn't overcommit in the ascents, saved their energy, and really piled on the pain and the pressure in the Blitz qualifiers.
Yes.
So very dominant team. So let's see how it goes in November. Wowzers.
Yeah.
But we're back again on Sunday for the last round of Asia anyway.
Yes. Anyway. You'll be following Feast vs HLV. Meanwhile, I'll be following, let me see. It's going to be GV versus ID, I believe.
I believe it is. And you've got the coin stream, I also believe.
Yes, I do have the coin stream.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Right.
So anyway, I'm going to play this replay. I'm going to go off now, but the replay carry on playing. Everybody should have got their rewards. It's been over 2 hours and 17 minutes. So all the rewards you should have got. The stream won't end anyway. It'll end in about 10 minutes from now. So that gives everybody plenty of chance. I would love to stay and stream all day for all those who turned up late, but I can't do that. It's just not possible. So I'm going to go. Absolutely. I'm going to go offline. You'll get to see the replays. And, well, thanks for joining. I've been Fujit. I've been your host. It's been a pleasure, Asia. Again, big congratulations to Feast, HLV, ID, and GV. Wowzers.
Congratulations, yes. Meanwhile, I'll end the stream very soon. Tonight, in around 5 hours, I will be streaming HLV. No, what?
EU, you'll be streaming.
I will be streaming EU server. I'll be following Immortals versus Okay, let me get it up first. I'll be following Immortals basically. Immortals versus Loka and Immortals versus Souls. So it's also a coin stream. So make sure you follow my. You go to the portal and get your rewards, and hopefully you'll see you all there, and hopefully a lots of viewership. I'll be happy then. Meanwhile, Fujit is going to be streaming.
I am. I've got win in Souls and win in Raid.
Yes, it is. And this is going to be important for a win because they must win the next 2 matches if they want to keep their hopes in top 4 alive.
Absolutely, but it's also important for Raid. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's no certainty that Raid are through.
No.
So, lot to play for still.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right about Win. Win have really got to up their ante today.
Yes.
They've got to put a strong foot forward, so to speak.
Yeah. But so far, everything has been a little bit anticlimactic.
To an extent.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah. I mean, EU's still been exciting, but
yes.
I mean, all the games have been exciting. Let's be honest.
Yeah, all the games have been exciting, but then we were expecting like the last day shuffle up, but it didn't really happen in the end. But we'll see if it's going to happen for EU server.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's like today. Today, I was expecting, to be honest with you, I was expecting Cats to put on a strong show, and Low to put on a strong show. Yes. To be fair,
yes.
I mean, Cats had it against them because they had to win all 3 games going in. They had to win 2 today and Sunday.
Yes.
Low, on the other hand. Well, Low are a bit different. I mean, I'm shocked that they lost both their games today
by quite a margin.
Yeah, I mean, Low could have afforded to lose to ID realistically, but that was a must-win game for Low. But you would have thought they would have been confident against Cats in Boone, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And it just didn't pan out the way I thought it was going to pan out today.
No, so alas.
but well, there you go. Anyway, as I said, that's it from me, guys. Thank you, Asia. I've been Fujit. That's been Wild One's Helper.
Thank you.
Don't forget, catch him on Sunday. He's got the coin stream.
Yes.
Go and show him some love. Press sub, press like.
And also
cost you nothing, by the way. press sub and press like.
Don't forget Fujit as well. If you haven't done it
right,
already.
I'm going to end my stream now. Thank you very much. We've been on for just 2 hours and 22 minutes, so that's more than enough time.
Yeah.
And I will see you all again very soon. Bye for now.